Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Page of Swords podcast. This is episode 25 with Brady King, IFBB Pro, who is a classic competitor. Brady, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
So, what have you been up to?
What are you drinking?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea? Is that in your
Yeah,
plan? Is sweet tea in your plan?
it's the Mio.
It's the Mio. Is there sugar in there?
No,
I don't believe you. Let's
it's just
go.
a flavor. Come on, you don't use any Mio or what? No. Are you a plain water drinker?
Plain Jane.
Man, you're good. How many of those do you drink a day?
I'm lucky if I drink all this in the off season. No, in prep I'd usually get like 1.5 because I actually force myself to drink my water. But yeah, in the off season,
Hard.
I'm lazy as all hell.
So let's just start from the beginning then. When did you start competing?
I started competing, I think I was 18 was my first show when I was a freshman in college. So I got to college. It's a long story of how I ended up in a D3 school, but basically I still ended up getting an injury red shirt from football. Mm-hmm. So then I rely on doing nothing but lifting. And honestly, I just, at that point, I realized I wasn't as in love with football as I was with like the gym and bodybuilding. So I was like, I'll give it a try finally. Mm-hmm. And then I think my first prep, I ate like chicken and I'd eat like lettuce. And I ate like twice a day. I was just trying to lose weight. I had no idea.
You didn't have a coach then?
No.
No, how did you hear about it? Did somebody at the gym tell you about it or?
I mean, I just knew, so I knew Kai Green was the first bodybuilder that I ever liked. Well, Jay Cutler, I guess, technically, because, his ugly rooster hair was in all of the magazines back then. Mm-hmm. But he, and also Jay Cutler, the name stuck out because there was a quarterback named Jay Cutler. Okay. But anyway, but then, I learned who, Kai Green was and really liked his mindset and, how he liked psychology and everything. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of started putting me on to the rest of other people on Instagram and stuff because I started following him and whatnot. So then, yeah, just that's pretty much how I even knew about competing at all. I competed in NABA to start.
Oh,
I had no idea how to get into the NPC or what the NPC. I didn't understand bodybuilding at all. Mm-hmm. I looked online bodybuilding shows and I found one that was easy to register for, and that was it.
Where was it at? Do you remember what?
Yeah, it was Lancaster, PA. It was the Keystone Classic or something like that is what it was called.
Okay. Do you still talk to anybody that's in that group? That's still around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I still talk to Jason Zinsler. Was actually he was the first to beat me in juniors. Mm-hmm. I still, to this day, man, I never beat him. It drives me nuts. It drives me absolutely nuts. And it makes me mad too because I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if I still would. You know what I mean? It'd still be a tough competition, so that makes me mad. But and he's natural too. That's the cool part. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's still in it, and he's actually doing a show. He just started prep.
Okay.
Not too long ago, and I was giving him shit for not going to the NPC, and he didn't even answer my message. So.
What's the difference between NABA and NPC then that you could tell?
I think he's an OCB pro.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that might be what he's doing instead now. But NABA was it was the original federation. Okay. If I'm not before the NPC, before IFBB. Mr. Universe competition, the original was from NABA. But yeah, I mean, they're just a small federation. Their national show, mm-hmm. I was 18 with no muscle and got 5th.
For a first show.
So, I mean, I get it. Sure, I'm pretty good now, but back then, I was just a little string bean. I had no muscle whatsoever. It was just shredded to pieces, It was a skinny guy muscle.
And that was chicken and lettuce.
Chicken and lettuce.
Wow. You must have been. What happened after that show? Did you binge eat, or were you like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna keep.
I only did that for 2 weeks, so.
Okay.
It wasn't really much more than that. I learned how to pose, did some cardio, and did that in about 2 weeks. So, that's how bodybuilding started for me. And then I fell in love with it and then I actually started my first cycle right after that show.
Okay. Oh, interesting. How you, did someone help you along with that, or did you wing that also?
Yeah, well, we kind of winged it. Me and my best friend had done a bunch of research. Warren Kaiser, he's actually going to be living with me down in Columbus.
Okay.
Whenever I was talking to you about moving to Columbus, I had told you I was living with him. We actually started bodybuilding together, and started like learning everything about gear together. And I remember whenever we actually started doing like really trying to pursue bodybuilding together, we made like, I don't even remember how much it was. We spent probably $80 in meat and stuff. And we made one meal that we portioned out in like 100 Tupperwares. And it's all we ate for like 2 weeks. And it was like this like burger. It was like hamburger helper, but with like burger and crab. And we used like a white cheese. It was like an Alfredo type of saucy cheese. And it was probably one of the best things I ever had, but I was so sick of it.
Oh my God, I bet.
But yeah, so we also started, so we did all of our research for gear and started that together. We both ran our first cycle together. It was just testy. I think we only did like 300 a week. And we both ran D-ball, I think at like 25 milligrams a day for the first like 4 weeks.
How old were you again?
I was turning 19. I think I just turned when I started that cycle.
I assume that that's a little more normal for men, that I feel like you guys are like open to that side faster.
It is, but like it also needs to be known, like I wish I would have waited. I didn't need it. I didn't eat well back then. I didn't eat enough. I wasn't doing cardio in the off season. I wasn't training optimally. You know what I mean? My life wasn't in an optimal position to add in gear, but I didn't know back then. I didn't have a coach either. So, you know, I just was going my own stuff. And I had known, like my dad had always told me too, he's like, if I could afford it, you'd be on it. The whole time in high school, he always told me like, man, we get you to D1 school real quick. Yeah.
That's interesting too. Cause like, I just, I don't know, because you were in football and everything, and I think that that's like the stereotypical thing for the football players.
What gear?
Gear and then lifting, all of it. I feel like it like you've already built a pretty good foundation, I'm sure, just from football naturally.
Right. Yeah. I was particularly a little bit chubby, so the gym definitely made me a much better athlete. Like I was like probably never gonna start in high school from like how I was as a freshman. Then like by halfway through my sophomore year, I was like more of like a D1 double A athlete.
Did you ever do
with like
powerlifting?
7 grades?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Did you ever get into powerlifting before bodybuilding, or you just have the adapted style sometimes?
Yeah, I just like heavy shit.
Yeah.
I always have. I've always liked to pull. It always started with deadlifts. The first time I ever did like a 1 rep was a deadlift. I was like a junior. And I remember I tugged like 455 and it felt like the man because I was like 15 years old or something. It was like, yeah, I'm the shit. But I never deadlifted.
I was going to say, do you think how that's like built a lot of your like nice round muscles, just like from lifting like that style, a little bit more of like a high PR style?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Like it's always been, so like that was what kind of like really started to put that into me. I guess ever since like day one, I trained heavier than usual. I was never afraid to fail. And like I was training with guys that had been lifting for a few years that actually had world records as teenagers. Seth Warburton, one of my best friends and my first training partner, he had world records in powerlifting when he was 12 years old for the bench. He was benching like I think it was like 272 was his world record at 12 damn years old, you know, at 125 pounds, whatever the hell he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had the deadlift record too. And he broke the PA squat record or something like that, but didn't break the world record, even still.
That's good to do a lot.
Yeah, when you're lifting with that guy, you know what I mean? As a kid who can barely touch 135, you want to do his weight. So I had 225 on a damn bar within the first 3 months of me lifting. And I had no business having that on the bar, but I sure as hell got it eventually. I just let it bury. The first time I actually put it on, he put no clips on. He racked it off for me, and he walked away. And I looked at him and I said, yo. And he went, you on your own. You going to get it or you not? He walked away.
So that put the fear right in you. You're like,
Right.
well, I guess I can't be scared now.
Right. Well, that's what started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had one really crazy deadlift when I was young too that really started showing me like, dude, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So then like every single day when I went to the gym, I wanted to hit a PR of something. I wanted to hit a 1 rep of something, which is stupid now and I look back on it. But like at the time, I mean, shit, when you're 18, 17, 16, fucking muscles are like rubber bands. They're like fucking, like you can
Newbie gains.
Right. You ain't gonna fucking tear.
Now, back to when you were competing and everything, because I'm on the NPC News website, and it has that 2016 was when you started in the NPC. Is that correct? So is the Jolie Palmer your first show?
Yeah, the Julie Palmer. Yep. Vince
Did you
Brown.
get coach for that?
No.
No, you're still on your own at this point, huh?
Yeah. I did that one on my own. I did a little bit more of a prep for that one. I did some chicken and peanut butter.
Wow, moving up. We put some fats in there.
Chicken, hot sauce, and peanut butter every meal. But I was eating 6 meals now.
Okay.
And I did not weigh the chicken. I cooked it and guessed. I looked at it and said, it's about 8 ounces.
Okay.
And
that's
now
a
I
lot of
look.
protein.
Well, now I can eyeball 8 ounces of chicken. I can tell you right now, I was eating fucking 20 ounces of chicken a damn meal. I mean, there's no reason 8 ounces of chicken and peanut butter took me 35 minutes to eat. And half the time I didn't cook it the whole way. Oh, I was a terrible bodybuilder.
Oh, man. But, I mean, look good. I mean, do you remember what your feedback was from the first show?
My tan was terrible. I wasn't lean. I don't think they actually told me I wasn't lean enough. I actually think they didn't say anything about conditioning. But I spilled.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian Bortz.
Was he kind of like guiding you through that part?
He just helped me kind of peak. He told me I needed more carbs, so I ate a bunch of pancakes, which is my fault. I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? I didn't know. At the time, Brian was like the bodybuilder. He won the Pittsburgh, and I didn't know anybody else. So
okay.
I had some pictures from the day before, and he's like, yeah, man, you're flat. You should eat something.
But he didn't give you any other like guidance. It was just like, eat something.
Well, I mean, it's Bortz.
I mean,
you probably would have told me some ice cream and play some Xbox with me and call it a day.
Hey, at least it was pancakes and not ice cream then, because I would assume that would just bloat you.
Right. Well, me and ice cream go really well together. I'm just saying, I'll wake up the next day looking crispy after some Ben and Jerry's. Didn't
that just happen to you last prep? You're like, who broke into my house and ate my ice cream?
I looked so fired too.
I bet.
Oops.
You're like, hey, it didn't do me dirty.
It was right after.
So you did that one show in 2016 and got 3rd place, it looks like, in the light heavyweight. Mm. And then you went on to the Pittsburgh the next year and got 5th. So anything different from the first to the second?
No, let's talk about the Pittsburgh. I won the closed division, which had all the exact same people in it, and lost the overall to Shane Post. I got 5th in the open because my tanner was pouring off of me like a MFer. And it was so like I didn't plan ahead. I in novice. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could do true novice.
Yes.
But I did novice. I did open. I did closed. I think there was like another division I did or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I was out there a lot. Mm-hmm. And by the time I was out there for the actual open prejudging, I was soaked in sweat. My tanner was pouring off me. And they were like, I swear it felt back to back. I had no time to even get my tan fixed backstage. So it was pouring off me. And like, I should have been more conditioned. But again, I didn't. That was the first time I was using a coach. And I honestly used him because I wanted to know what gear to take.
Okay.
Like everything else, I didn't really listen to. I listened to his food. I did listen to the food, but I didn't do any cardio. I did. I trained on my own. I trained fasted. That's what I did.
Okay. You still do that sometimes?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Just curious.
Wow, murder.
Just didn't want to do cardio.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I guess I was a dumb kid. I didn't really, at that time, I didn't know any better. So actually, that prep I did start doing my cardio though after that show because I didn't think I really needed it all like that. I did sometimes.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was all that. I didn't take bodybuilding that seriously to begin with. But then when I was at the Pittsburgh, that was kind of when I realized, like, hey, you're not just like a little bit of potential. Like, you're actually really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually take this extremely far if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And, getting fifth also put a nice salty taste in my mouth because I realized I wasn't. And I asked, like, what happened? My coach was like, dude, if you can't pose and you start sweating on stage, they're gonna put you outside. It's just, welcome to bodybuilding. And like that, but like to me though, like that really wasn't welcome to bodybuilding. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I didn't think I would ever have to be on stage that much, or like they would hold us like that, or and those are those judges, those are the Pittsburgh judges. That's the national judging panel, that's the Olympia judging panel sometimes, like they're the top pro show judging panel, like those are the judges you want to be in front of. Mm-hmm. I had no idea back then.
You're just up there trying to show off in the best way possible, right. And you're just like, I'm here.
Right. And actually, so that sweating issue caused issues later on in life this year. Okay. I didn't pose hard at the first show I did this year because I didn't want to sweat. And it's just like a fear I have now. Like I pose a little bit lighter just so I'm not over exaggerating. Even though now I pose constantly, I know I shouldn't be sweating. Mm-hmm. It's still, I sweat a lot to begin with. I don't even know what the hell this damn disease is called. But basically,
so you already know that ahead of time that this is a thing. Like,
right. Well, my armpits, even when I'm 100% bone dry, I'll still be sweating. Just this little, like my armpits in any shirt are always wet. Like by the end of the school day, I used to bring 2 shirts to school because I could bring it out by the end of the day, just sitting there. So yeah. And then for North Americans, I was like, we're outside. I don't even care if my tanner runs. I'm posing my ass off.
Do you think that helped a lot too?
What, posing my ass off?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm right. I don't think I think you actually sent me all the videos. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple of people tell me, but when you're on stage, you don't really notice as much. I had a couple of people tell me, like, dude, you're the only person you could look at.
Yeah, you were very confident. You were the one that looked like you were having a good ass time on the stage.
And I was too, though. Like when I was living in it too, I was loving every second of everything that was happening. It was a lot, especially from the week before. It was the same judges. Mm-hmm. They'd all seen me a week before, and I looked like crap. So
yeah, you got to redeem yourself too. That probably in the end was a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how was North Americans then outside? Did you actually prefer it then?
I loved it.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, it was such a cool vibe, especially because it was Pittsburgh. Like, tell me, walking around in my city, mm-hmm. looking at stuff that I've looked at my entire life through some of the hardest times in my life too. Like some of the views that I was looking at, like from the hotel, because it was next to oh wow, I'm drawing a blank right now. It was next to, what's the damn park called with the
Point Park.
Is it Point Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it was right next to there, and it's like I remember when I was a kid, I'd gone through something traumatic, and I remember staring out at the bridges.
Yeah.
And thinking a lot, and it was kind of cool. Like after I won too, I came out, and the first thing I did was Morgan said hi to Morgan, whatever. And I looked over at the bridges, and I just had to breathe for a second, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't have had the same feelings in any other city or any other setting. And there was no spectators. So it was all live streamed for free too. Every other show wasn't free. That one was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. That's a long weekend, and it was good video. They did a good job with it. I know it was kind of in a rush, but they still had it where, I could clearly see everything just fine.
Gary killed it. And the way that they had it backstage too, like the way they had the show running, mm-hmm. It ran. It may have not look. It didn't look like it ran as smooth as it did if you were watching the video. Because I remember watching other prejudging and thinking like, this seems kind of, I was thinking of the competitors backstage like, wow, this would suck.
Yeah.
When you're backstage, it felt like you got backstage with enough time to, take a little sip of water. They're like, yo, line up.
They were trying to get you in and out and get all these people in. And I can't even imagine being a judge. That's a long, I want to say long day, but it's a long week.
Oh, yeah, that whole week. Oh, man, yeah.
Too many competitors.
Yeah, because they do the whole Masters and everything there, too.
Yeah. How was your mindset backstage? It showed on stage that you were confident. Backstage, were you confident too?
The vibe I had on stage was the exact vibe I had backstage. I was just laughing, screwing with people, BSing with people, running around throwing stuff at people. You know what I mean? Like, just being, how I am, just being my goofy, dumbass self. Like, nothing was different. I don't even really remember posing that much either. I remember kind of pumping up and just doing enough posing to get some blood into the muscle. But I was too busy screwing off, honestly. I kept getting out of line, getting yelled at. And it's funny, everybody backstage, it's all the same people that are almost at almost every show in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. So they're people we know, people that we've known since we started this. So I've known these guys since I was a kid, really. So I'm 19, 18, 20 years old, whatever the case.
Great. So your nerves were probably fine. You were probably stress-free.
So
what were you eating?
They're yelling at me, and instead of being a scared, back when I was 20 doing the collegiate nationals, I'm I'm in line. Now I'm hey, I'm coming.
Slapping each other's backs and stuff.
I drew a dick on. I think it was. I can't remember who that was anymore. I drew a dick on somebody's back in their tanner there before we went out for finals. I think it was Carlos Dunlap. No, it wasn't Carlos. Carlos got second to me, and I remember it wasn't. No, but even still, I drew a dick on someone's back.
So the boys being boys, I guess.
Well, they bumped me. He bumped me, and I went, dude, you messed my you messed my tanner up. I'm like, turn around, I gotta get payback. And I drew a little dick on him. I'm like, all right, go, you're good. It was it was fun of the tanning lady too. So she was like, ah. Facebook.
It was probably Amy. She probably was just whatever. She's a good girl. So you get up on stage and you pose your ass off, and I don't know, how did that feel? Did you realize when you were in the lineup, you're like, I think I won this thing?
I knew when I woke up that day. I knew the whole week. Well,
before you got there?
I knew. There was even Morgan. Morgan does not give compliments. I woke up and Morgan took one look at me, and he had this big ass shit grin on his face, and all he said was, "Yeah." That was it. The second he said that, I saw the shit grin on his face, and I said, "Yeah, we did it."
Plus, he had Dougie in the show. He had you two both trophies already ready to go.
Dougie, he had to do. I'll give Dougie. He had to save Dougie.
Oh yeah.
Dougie doesn't fill out the same as me. You got to do some stuff a little bit different with Doug. And what's hard with Doug is that, that whole week, I didn't leave my couch. I was on the couch with the dog the whole, from the time I had to start losing that weight to after check-ins, even while I was carbing up, I didn't move. Doug worked the night before and every day before that. Yeah. He's working 12s or 10s at least. Mm-hmm. So he can't really be on his phone. He just started, I think he just got a promotion or something along those lines too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there was nothing he could do. He had to be focused on work, not bodybuilding.
And he's got kids and stuff, and you're with the dog.
And we're talking like I said, the day before. When the day before a bodybuilding show, what could you even imagine trying to think of anything else? No. And this man go through it, and then I remember Morgan too. Morgan was like, "He's not answering me and send me his weight." Dude, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Figure it out. And he did. He brought him in literally it was the most perfect timing that Doug could have stepped on stage is when he stepped on stage.
Good.
And then they started posing him. They posed them pretty hard, which was really good for Doug. That was to Doug's benefit. Yeah. Because Doug blows up as he goes through a couple of rounds.
And only certain people can do that.
Yeah, he just gets harder and harder and harder and fuller and fuller. Shut up.
That's typical. That's so you right there. Shit. And this was your second time as a classic competitor, right?
On stage, yeah. Wow. Right.
Because I see you did the show in Michigan, and I think that must have been your first time as a classic competitor.
Yeah.
Did you know that was the class for you?
So I did a prep in 2018 for junior nationals, and there was going to be a show in like 2 weeks before that I was going to do qualify. And that's when I got the car accident. I knew I was going into classic. I had known from like the start of that prep, like where my weight was, how I looked. Me and the coach I was using at the time, he took pretty much one look at me and said, "Yeah, you got to be in classic." So that was kind of when like 2000 end of 2017, beginning of 2018 was when it was like 100% like you are a classic bodybuilder. And sorry, Chica. Hey, I tapped the chill. Sorry, Maya didn't like me tapping the coffee table. Anyway, she I'm talking about my dog. Yeah, so like I said, that was kind of when that started. And it hasn't veered off since then. I've known since then, especially because that prep was when I kind of like blew up and like I started to make a name for myself and like, started creating this little wave we got now.
Yeah, because you were with Redcon and everything like that, and
right after that, actually, that's how. So I got signed. I told Aaron Singerman that I was going to be his next athlete at the Arnold. I shook his hand and introduced myself as newest athlete.
And where did that get you?
Bro, when I was a kid, I was so cocky. I'm still cocky, but oh my God, it was obnoxious.
So look where it got you.
And I told him that, and then I was like, I'm going to win junior nationals, and after I do, you're going to sign me. And he was like, all right, I like that story. And he was like, I'll shake on that. And then I got the car accident and everything, but look, it was going to be a battle. Brett Wilkins won that show. He was in my class.
Oh.
And who else? Why can I never think of his name? It used to be the Black Spartan. Now I think it's the African Lion. And I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember either.
Akeem? Is that his name? I don't know. I can never remember names. I'm so bad with names. I don't know. He's awesome ass dude, though. I love him. But he has a very similar physique to mine, actually.
Okay.
But with the bellies, with the vacuum, with his proportions and symmetry, looks very similar to me. But he, to my knowledge, from what I remember, I think Brett won off of conditioning. I don't think it was like a missed peak or anything like that. I just don't think he was completely conditioned, because then he did the North Americans, or maybe it was USA later that year, and I think he won that whole show. But yeah, Brett won that one, and if I had been there, Class B would have been just absolutely stacked. But it's funny because now all three of us are pros. So
yeah, right. Yeah, you were saying you got to hang out a lot with Brett and everything when you were at the North Americans this year.
Yeah, North Americans. I hung out with him down in Atlanta too. And we've always BS'd back and forth since that prep. We didn't speak much that prep, because we were sworn enemies at the time.
Friendly competition.
Right, we were sworn enemies, and then, the accident happened, and, he said, thank God, and I said, you're a dick for that, and, no, but he, just, it's kind of funny, him and Fitz ended up being, like, two of my, like, long-lost brothers.
Yeah.
Just, like, with, like, how they are, like, I guess I shouldn't say too much, but just how they are. We're very, very similar people, all of us.
Right. And did that help you now when you picked your new coach, Nelson? Because, and then you're kind of in that brotherhood now. Yeah,
and it was a very easy decision for a lot of reasons. I'm big on loyalty, as you know.
Yeah.
And coaches, anyways, it's a loyalty thing to me. It's very, very, very prominent in my life. And, I'm very hard to let people in to begin with. And that includes even like coaches. Like I got to be close to my coach. I have to. To me, you know, my end goal is not to turn pro. My end goal is to win Olympias. However long that takes to get there, whatever has to happen in the middle, cool, I'll do it. But I know it has to be done with somebody that's going to be like, you know, very close to me and like somebody I can trust and give that same kind of loyalty to, and have that reciprocated to me. And it's very obvious very quickly through Brett and Fitz. You know, and they're telling me like Nelson's the same. So of course then I meet Nelson. He is the same.
Yes, and I know that from that podcast that I heard with Nelson, he definitely sees the potential in you, and that's all another thing that you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't let me waste it at all. You know, he really, and what's nice too is it's like when I do screw up, like I'm still 24 years, I'm still a kid trying to learn this game. So I'm still trying to get my head right all the time. Like, you know, I have a pretty strong mindset, but again, I'm still really trying to work through some stuff that's just like some immaturity stuff that I really got to get over. And it's nice that, like, a lot of times, like, you screw up, you don't want to tell your coach. Me? No. Nelson hears about all of it. And I say it as a joke to him. Like, I'll send my check-ins, be like, oh, ironic how good I look this week is those 3 pints of Ben & Jerry's on Sunday. I thought would have caused some water spillage. And, like, it's all like a joke. You know what I mean? I'll say it like a joke, but I'm telling him, like, literally, yeah, I ate 3 pints of Ben & Jerry's on Sunday. You know what I mean? And it doesn't happen that often. Lately, a little bit more than I would like. But, you know, if you can't be real with your coach in the little areas that you know that you need to improve to, like I'm ratting on myself, saying it's a joke just so he can understand and know where my weak areas are so he can keep sharpening them, you know, whether it's subtly or not. And that includes
also train hard. So you know, you're making these mistakes or whatever, but I mean, you're still in the gym, putting in your time and you're doing your consistency, and, you know, you don't want to get burnt out either because you're so young. Like, don't be so regimented. Like, I know you'll get to the Olympia, you really will, but you just know for the mindset and to be healthy, you're like, I just don't want to be burnt out. It's too thin.
Yeah, I think most of the time whenever I do decide to kind of screw, like, because it's always a conscious decision, like, you know what I mean, like, it's always a decision that I make saying, like, I know that it's not even like I know I shouldn't do this. This is gonna sound, I can't say this without sounding cocky, but like, I know I can do this. Does that make sense? I know that I can do this, and it's not gonna make a big difference in the long run. If I do it all the time, it will. But like you said, a lot of the times, most of the time, it's like, you know, I'm fucking tired, man. I want me pizza today. You know what I mean?
When it's prep, you put in your time. You know, when prep is prep, because clearly, like, you worked your ass off and turned pro at North Americans, but then even that, like, was it you that wanted to do the Chicago Pro? Yeah. And you're like, I know I can do this. You had the mindset.
Yeah. Well, so what it was is I went down to, this actually has to do with like giving yourself a break too. So I had that little break. It was supposed to be rebounding. And I was rebounding, you know, cheat a little bit, you know how it is. And I went down to Tennessee to this big gym opening.
Yeah,
and
culture.
Yep. And there was, you know, every big pro you could really think of off the top of your head, especially in classic. And I remember I was BSing with Breon and Steve Lorius and talking to them about like what I should do, if I should just try to see where I'm at now. Because the thing is, the weight cap thing is where like things get gray. Because like, you know, I could have been, if they made me weigh 192 every time, I'll never be able to get bigger. This is my look. So I have to see if I'm competitive now. And if I'm not, then I gotta go ahead and go up to like 212 or something for a year and then go to supers. But luckily it's confirmed I could be 200, hopefully. Until I come to 200, they're like, no. Anyways.
But yeah, but when you stepped on the Chicago show, I mean, your back is just like, it stands out. Like, when you were up there and getting that top call out, you must have been psyched.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, and they put me in the middle too to start. And so that, like, I was honestly very blown back that they put me and Lord Jones together in the middle to start.
Mm-hmm.
They kept us there for a little hot second. They moved me pretty relatively quickly, but like just even like for them to, I don't know if that was a conscious decision they did on purpose or what, but like to even be in the middle though, because like the way that the order was, if I remember correctly, it could have looked like that was going to be their, you know what I mean, their one through three, 1 through 4 with the guys in 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then I just saw me there and maybe said he's too small and moved me out really fast, or they just, you know, put us together and just got there and said, yeah, you got to go in the end.
So you got that chance to be beside it. Like you got to stand beside the winner, and that's pretty cool.
And it's funny too because it made me like him a lot more because so Lord Jones is like probably the goofiest person I've ever met in my entire life.
He's a great poser. He's a good poser.
He is goofier than I am, like way goofier. He is so funny, and he's like so subtly funny. Like he kind of like his Instagram. You'll see his Instagram. Like he posts funny stuff. Mm-hmm. But like in person, he's so much more quiet about it too. It makes it so much better. Like we got out on the first call outs and he looked at me smiling and started winking at me with like, I can't even describe the wink. He was like,
oh yeah, like here we are.
I was like, what are you doing? I started cracking up. We turned around and started posing. I'm like, this guy. And he's doing stuff like that the whole day though. Like he's just so goofy.
Yeah.
But I was definitely glad that he won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, he pops like I've never seen in my life. I've never seen somebody with muscle bellies like that. Okay. But
and he's been a pro for a little while, so you were the new one, and obviously made a splash.
I think that was his pro debut, though, wasn't it?
I can't remember because I know it was yours, but the other ones I couldn't keep track of who was who.
No, you just didn't care about them. No, I think that was his pro debut. It was also Jarek's pro debut, and Jarek got second.
Okay.
Yeah, and JB Brown, that was not his pro debut, but he got third. He did good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, you had a good experience there. Like, I mean, I know that once you're in the pro division, like they treat you a little more differently backstage and everything. Did you like it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot more fun. The environment backstage at pro stage is so much more chill. It's like because like the way I always am at shows, it actually makes a lot of people mad because they want to be all serious and like, you know. And me backstage, I'm like grabbing people's nipples and like walking around with a dab pen, like, you want to hit? Yeah. Laughing like a hyena and, you know, hiding people's stuff like Arnold did. You know, just screwing around. And a lot of people don't like that in the NPC. But IFBB, everybody's backstage just sitting around, chopping it up, like talking about life, you know, talking about successful stuff. You know what I mean? Talking about mindsets and that kind of stuff and like introducing each other to each other. You know, everyone's going around dapping each other up. Mm-hmm. All love.
Yeah, and I'm sure with the, you know, people like you that was doing a pro debut, they probably been like, no, I've been in those shoes before. I'll make this person feel at home.
Right. Well, it's a big respect thing. Everybody has respect for each other. Doesn't matter who you are or, you know, what level you know, where you won any shows or how many pro shows you've done. There ain't none of that. It's we're all in the IFBB. Mm-hmm. And that alone is, you know, a huge accomplishment, something that's very, very, very difficult to do to begin with. So to even be at these shows and be there, it's like, you know, nobody's less than anybody because we here. And the thing is too, is we had how many guys I have in my lineup? 20 some?
At the Chicago?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think one show I did had 30 some. I think one had 20 some, or maybe one some. No, North Americans had 42.
Yeah, I'd say there was a lot of competitors at Chicago.
Chicago, I think there may have been 28 or 32 in that range.
Yeah, because after 16, there's like several more.
Okay. we'll go ahead and say mid-20s, but you got to think there's 25 cats out there, right?
Yeah. And I mean, comparing it, I know at the figure division, there was like 44 girls and yours is like almost to that length, but not quite. So yeah, you're probably right. 30 something.
Okay. And yeah, so it's like, you got 32 motherfuckers, all pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, anybody can strike it anytime, any of us.
Yeah.
We didn't just magically fucking ride our magic carpets into the IFBB. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely some shows that, like, you know, maybe this person shouldn't have turned pro, or maybe nobody else showed up. But, like, guess what? You still had to be a baller.
Yeah.
No matter what, to a certain degree. And the fact of the matter is like, anybody's just as dangerous as the next person in the IFBB.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you got 15 guys that you were backstage looking at saying, damn, these guys are all in shape. You never know who's going to be perfect and crispy by the time they get on stage. It could be any of those 15 guys, any one of them. You know, so that's what it comes down to. And I've watched, you know, like, I mean, crap, dude, I was placed ahead of guys that you couldn't have convinced me were going to be behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Ford is the perfect example. You could not have told me before that show that I was going to be Kevin Ford. I would not have believed you. Never.
Now moving forward though, like now you're taking the off season and everything like that. I mean, are you going to compete for 2021 or are you thinking you're still just going to grow?
Fuck yeah, we're going to compete.
You're going to do it?
I'm so borderline not classic physique. If I take more time off than a half a year, there's no chance I'm getting back down to that weight.
So you're just happy you're just going to try to improve for the stage. You're kind of like shape-wise, you're in a good spot, maybe just like conditioning or whatever.
Yeah, I can use a little bit more size. We added some legs and glutes and hams for sure. That's why I need to really add size. I keep accidentally growing my back, but I guess you can't really bitch about that.
I know you do have a great back though, so it's not like that's going to, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it the other day, and I'm like, man, every time I don't want to grow my back, it seems like this motherfucker just keeps growing. So and then I have other body parts like my arms where I'm like, you know, like, fuck, I'm about to just start putting like 25 fucking cc's of synthol on these bitches. I can't take it anymore. They won't grow.
I mean, and you do so much back, you'd think your biceps would kind of get into that too.
Yeah, I don't train arms hard enough, honestly. That's my problem. I do now. I have been, but no. Before, nah.
Is there a certain exercise that you do for your hamstrings and glutes that you feel like is making like the most improvement?
So for me, it's very, very, very different than I feel like for most people. So normally, what I would tell you, I mean, hammies and glutes is so easy to train if you really know how to train them. Lying hamstring curls, push your damn pelvis down to the pad. Do not let your hips come off the pad. And my favorite way to tell anyone is, like, most of the pads have, like, there's like an angle down, and there's a little angle this way. Mm-hmm. Right here, there's usually a split. There's a vagina right here that you're going to put your fucking dick in. Yeah. And if you move your dick, your glutes will disengage. So put your dick the whole way in, stay knee deep in that pussy.
And squeeze.
Squeeze the damn glutes. It's the easiest way to describe it. Like, you know what I mean? Because it blows my mind how many people pull their damn pelvis off of the fucking pad. It drives me insane. Same thing with floor presses or floor dumbbell hamstring curls. Put your damn pelvis to the floor. If your hips move, you're not doing the movement correctly. You're not getting half out of it as you need.
Do you do any high reps, or are you just trying to hit like the PRs and just go heavy and do like 4 sets of 8 or something? Heavy.
We do everything in load sets too. So we'll do feeder sets and just your regular like hammy curl. We'll say like, so like I'll just take you through a quick little leg day. I always do lunges to start. It's ham day. I do long stride and I lean forward to stretch. I just do eight reps a leg, 6 sets with like 20-second rest. And then I'll do some leg extensions just to warm up my knees. I'll do like 3 or 4 sets of 20 with like 1 second hold and 3 second down reps. So like it gets a little nasty. Mm-hmm. Nothing, you get some blood in there. And then I do hammy curls. I'll usually do like 3 sets of 10, and I'll try to get as heavy as I can. Usually on most ham curl machines, I get the stack on there, and I'll usually just go for as many as I can. For the first set, typically 8 to 10 is like a number I like to use as a rough draft. But like if you train different places, every freaking lying hammy curl is completely different. So
yeah,
you never know. And then I'll do like a drop set, and then I'll do like a high and wide leg press, a load set, heavy, build up weights heavy, and then I'll do it back off of like a rest pause set or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Dumbbell lying hammy curls.
Oh, those are good. Those are like a new favorite, I think, with some people.
Yeah, and some stiffies. But for me, an issue I ran into that I'm starting to realize is like the whole issue and why I don't look the way I want to in my bottom half. It's just my hips. Like I have neglected all mobility since the car accident. Today was the first day I actually like sat down and like stretched for more than like 2 minutes. And
I know it does. I'm really bad with it too, and I need to do it more.
Well, I never had to before. I was always super athletic, super flexible. I could do 2 minutes of stretching and I'd be good to go. Now it's not that simple. A lot of stuff I have to do is like I have to fix my deadlift. My deadlift sucks. I'm pulling with all my back. I'm not leaning back. I'm not pushing with my heels. I'm not squeezing through glute ham. Basically, my entire posterior chain is not being used for anything that I do. My squats, quads take over. Hams, glutes not firing. Hips not firing. And you can see it too. I end up twisting at the bottom just ever so much like this. I can't get my right leg to open up the whole way to the right. So there's just a lot of issues I have to play with. So I have to do a lot of abductors. The last year I focused on adductors a lot. This year I have to focus on abduction.
Yeah, those are good though. I mean, because that will help create like those hamstring lines too from the back.
Yeah, and what I'm having, so for me, it's a big glute thing because I don't necessarily have small glutes.
Okay.
I have really small hips. I have no muscularity in my hips anymore.
Okay.
And so like where my trunks would sit up on my hips, right there. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing there. So my trunks don't sit there, don't look right. And it also makes me, because they're so weak, I can't use the back of my legs. I can't contract correctly. They're not firing. So I have to slow everything down and start from square one. I'm doing a whole lot of glute ham raises, whole lot of glute bridges, whole lot of abductor stuff, slow squats, narrowing a lot of stances on stuff. And because the last year I did everything with my feet way wide because it felt good. Now I don't have to worry about what feels good. I have to fix issues that don't feel good.
Yeah. So do you feel like you had to drop your ego a little bit and just like really feel the muscle mind connection for your legs for them to make any sort of growth?
Yeah, and it's been like that with everything too. Like I keep hurting myself, so I have to stop doing heavy stupid stuff, which we're getting there.
Yeah, but you've got strong goals and everything too, so you know the potential in you. But like you said earlier, like that however long this takes, you'll get to your goal at the Olympia.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you don't have to say what show, but like, are you getting excited for this year? You got some things in mind? Like, what's the mindset now?
Kill everything.
Yeah.
Kill every fucking thing that moves.
How do you keep your waist so small? Are you doing vacuums or what?
Everybody think I have a small waist. I do not have a small waist. I have a 33 waist.
When you pose, it looks like it.
I bet it's more than that. Hold on. I bet it's more than that right now. I want to see what this thing is right now. Hold on.
Want to prove me wrong?
I got it. Yeah, listen, because everybody always want to talk about how small my waist is. Listen, that's what a vacuum does.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Practice.
The vacuum makes it look like I got a little itty bitty waist. When in all reality, I got a big old growth cut.
You'll be like having to put a waist trainer on.
I had to use that damn Vaso vagina burn stuff this year.
Oh, yeah? That shit burns if it goes in your ass crack.
It got on my dick. I was so pissed. I'm like a 34 right now.
34? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cutting on my pants a little bit, but, you know. It is what it is.
You're like, I'm in off season. It's that Ben and Jerry's. Oh, yeah? All right. I mean, you wanted to talk about booty, but I didn't know you were going to talk about that.
There we go. That's a little more.
Only when it's cold.
Oh, shit.
It happens.
Cold all the time, apparently. Oh,
where are you at now? Are you back in Michigan or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in Michigan right now.
Okay.
I'll be going to Columbus in 10 days or something like that.
Well, shit, if you're there, you might have to sign up for the Arnold or apply.
Remember when I said kill everything?
Yeah.
Kill everything.
I guess that was a given. You don't just move back to Columbus and like not at least try to go for that, especially in September. And then you got what? The Olympia might be in November. Come on. It'll be the perfect setup.
I'm not talking about my moves. Nobody's gonna know. I'm not talking about it.
It's okay. I can say it, and it's don't have to say true or false.
I will say this. You can rest assured that you will see me at the Dallas Europa this year. That is the only show that is absolutely 100%. The Dallas Europa is on. I will be there. That is it.
Why are you picking that show?
I love Dallas.
Yeah?
Love Dallas. Love my people down there. The people who will end up at that show. You know, I'll be able to hang out with Hunter.
I was just going to say. Hunter.
And I know we can get Brett and Fitz to go down. We get the whole crew together again. Kyle will be there. Ugh. And then it should be, off the top of my head, it should be a show that Will Whitman will go to as well.
Yeah, get some good photos.
And it has an expo.
Yeah.
It's a money move, honestly.
All the good shows are in the South.
What's that?
All the good shows are in the South.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. They have the expo. They have the Destination Dallas down there and get a bunch of content in. It's a juicy move, I think. Yeah,
Florida and Texas and Arizona, those states they're doing fine. They're opened up. They don't care.
Well, that too. Yeah, I guess we probably will have to worry about that come June still. God damn it.
That's the problem. I think with the Arnold, they don't want to take it out of Columbus, so they just kind of have to wait and see what happens. And
what sucks though is Columbus doesn't even shut down like they are technically, but like I've been to a lot of other cities. Columbus is pretty lax on how things are going on around there.
Yeah.
You know, like this. If you go downtown Pittsburgh, it's way, way, way harder to walk around downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But then you go outside of Pittsburgh and it's normal.
Right. Yeah, come to Greensburg. No, I don't think anybody has said a single thing about a mask to me in Pittsburgh. Not one time.
No, not. I mean, if you go to LA Fitness now, I feel like they kind of have to tell you, but like.
Because they re-shut down. I haven't been there since then, though, but they would probably not to even.
I'm not wearing mine. I've been going to My Planet Fitness doesn't care. Life Force don't care, you know. So, and that's the only place I just don't want to wear it. I'll wear it anywhere else, but I'm like the gym now.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm high risk, very high risk.
Okay.
If I get it, I'm probably gonna die. So, if I had it, I'd probably know.
Yeah.
So,
you're just gonna keep doing you.
Therefore, I'm not wearing one.
Okay.
But no, yeah,
So you're going for Dallas, and when do you know what time of year that's at?
That is in June.
This
year, yeah.
So how long of a prep do you like to do? Does Nelson have you do?
It just depends. It just depends. So like, I mean, shit, we did 20 days for Chicago.
Yeah, I mean that's what I typically do, 20 or more.
No, it was 20 days for Chicago.
Oh, 20 days. Oh, well, that's what you're saying, that you're going to like do a rebound or whatever, and then you like kind of picked it back up.
Yeah, Nelson was not happy whenever I told him we're 20 days out. I was like 220, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, I know we're 220, but can you get me down to like 192 in like 90 days, perhaps?"
You have to do cardio.
Hell yeah!
I know that's your least favorite.
It's funny. I did less cardio for the Chicago prep, where I had like no time to make weight, than I did most of prep before that.
Yeah, you probably had to do all the work first, and then it got a little easier after you got to that point.
It was easy. It was pretty easy prep. I mean, we could have been a little bit more conditioned, I think. But with 20 days notice, I mean, shit, this is the best I ever looked on stage, so I don't really have a complaint. But
come back for this year, and you're already ready to go. You're taking your break. You'll get back up on stage, and you belong there, so you're good.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, well, I've had you on for over an hour. I think we're getting to, and I don't want to take up all your night, but yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you next year. Any advice you want to give, like maybe someone who would have been in your shoes when you were 18, 21 or whatever, starting out?
Well, if you're 18, don't start gear yet. Get a coach first, i.e. me. If you're already a high-level kid, then get a high-level coach, i.e. Matt Jansen or Nelson or Chris Aceto or and also, if you don't know those names, learn those names.
Right. Those are the people to follow.
Anybody, especially people who are like going to national shows right now, who are, trying to first time get on national stage. This is just relevant because I have a client right now who's not 100% dead set on a national show, but he's gonna sweep his regional show. He's gonna have to. Mm-hmm. For me, that was a one and done national show. I've never done one before. I only did one. Just don't leave a single stone unturned, and don't worry about a single other person than yourself. Because when I was going to North Americans, I would have told you that the whole first call-out lineup would have beat me. All of them. Don't look on Instagram. There's a guy who got like third call-outs who I swear would have trashed me. If you see him on Instagram. So don't look at anybody. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Stay in your lane and bust your ass. And what as long as you go get in front of some good judges that really know the game, and if they're looking at you, giving you the head nod, keep going. And get the damn head nod too. Sick of people just going on national stages these days. Yeah. No, you should be there.
That's why you keep telling people, work on your back pose. Come on.
Yeah, fix your poses too. God, I'm so sick of seeing bad back poses. Goodness gracious. Kids, do your hammies, do your deadlifts, do some damn, I don't know, anything. Just grow some hamstrings and glutes. Don't look like a soft, soggy cookie when you get on stage.
And are you taking clients since you're coaching?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody got it. What's your Instagram for everybody?
My Instagram is at IFBB _Brady King, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep. IFBB _ Brady King.
That's it.
There you go. And well, are you looking for a sponsor, or what's up? Who are you representing these days?
Nobody.
Brady's on his own.
I had to take the Redcon back out of the Redcon shirt on. Yeah, no, not sponsored by anybody. I am signing with a suit company, but other than that, at this current moment, I am under contract with nobody at all. So
making your way to
a scary life, but it's necessary for what I'm trying to get at. So
for sure.
You're looking for athletes.
Yeah, if they want to compete this year, they better sign up soon.
I'm saying, I got a big old, got a big beard.
The mustache will return next year.
The mustache is coming back too.
Yeah, this year.
So this is the whole point of the big beard. You ready for this? So we're going to the beard just so I can have the handlebars. all the way off.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have just the handlebars.
Hey, it's a good look. It's Chris Seabum. You know what I mean? He's always saying that's his good luck charm. He's got to have a stash.
I really think I got first call-outs because I had a stash.
The lucky stash. It
I'm
stands
not gonna
out.
lie too. Hey, gentlemen, listen, guys. I know you might look at it and say, "Oh, the stash is creepy," but you will have so many women in your DMs asking to ride the carpet. All right, grow the stash. Just do the fucking stash. Thank me. You might not be able to look at yourself in the mirror, but damn it, you'll have bitches.
Yeah. You're like, trust me. All right, Brady, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And I think this is a really good interview for people because, I don't know, I like interviewing guys too. I always get a bunch of girls, but it's fun to get the guys on too because I can hang.
Yeah, we're more fun because we're a little more ruthless. I feel like it brings out the real Paige energy too.
I know. I'm just trying to be the Joe Rogan for podcasting.
Right. Yeah, no, I like that. I definitely like that. I think you fit the bill.
Well, thanks so much. Well, we're wishing you luck for this year, and we'll be looking forward because I know you didn't say it, but I'm going to be looking for you on the Arnold stage. So we'll see. All right. Have a good night.
Be safe.
Yeah, you too. See ya.